Hi, it's TJ, and today's video is something a little bit different. I'm going to be opening and using a tin of 80-year-old Rimmel Violet Oatmeal for the complexion, because why not? Before we get started with this video, if you could take just 2 seconds to check whether you're subscribed to my channel or not, and if you're not, be sure to click on subscribe. Subscribing to my channel is the absolute best way that you can support the work that I do here. Of course, if you don't want to, you don't have to, but I truly appreciate every single one of you who do follow me. Okay, so back to the video. Today's video was inspired by a chance encounter with the lining of a drawer in an antique store. That rhymed. Which had a cutting of an old newspaper pasted to its bottom. Now, I'm fascinated by anything from times past, especially when it's something to do with health, beauty or skincare, and this really caught my attention. The cutting was an ad for a Rimmel Toilet Oatmeal face pack, which set me off on a search to get my hands on some of this vintage skincare saviour for myself. During my research, I stumbled across the Rimmel Violet Oatmeal for the complexion, which was from the same time and has pretty much the same ingredients. So I decided that this was the one that I wanted. After weeks of research and searching, which also revealed to me that Wrigley's chewing gum was once a must-have cheek and jaw beautifying aid, who knew? I finally found someone selling a tin of Rimmel Violet Oatmeal online. Now this tin had been sealed and stored away in a box in the attic for the last 7 decades, so naturally I had to buy it to add it to my collection. Fast forward to today and I'm here getting ready to use this on my face. I love the fact that holding this tin of vintage Rimmel in my hands connects me to someone who came before me. And it's still here, locked away in time in this tin, waiting for me to open it. Now, it's clear to see that this tin has seen its fair share of days. Is it filled with vintage violet oatmeal mixture? Or has time taken its toll, leaving only remnants of what once was someone's skincare saviour? So, let's lift the lid and reveal what 80 years of untouched skincare product looks like. Okay, it feels like it's welded shut. I'm so worried that this is gonna be all oxidized. Moment of truth. So I can definitely tell that time has left its mark on this vintage beauty treasure. It's looking clumpy, it's looking off color. So these big clumps, let's see. Oh, okay, they break apart really easily. That is promising. Okay, the most important part, the sniff test, because your nose never lets you down when something has gone bad. So, now this smells pretty potent already and it's nowhere near my nose, but let's go for it. Okay, so the aroma is, let's say, stereotypically grandmotherly. It's a really intense, florally, talcum powdery, definitely violet type of fragrance. I'm just so surprised at how potent this is considering its age. So I can only imagine how perfumed it would have left the original owner after she had used it. Or who. So according to the tin, the best way to use this is to mix it into a thick cream with hot water and then apply this paste to the skin before washing it off with cold water. So I guess that's what I'm going to be doing. I just love the thought that I'm smelling the exact same fragrance that someone did all of those years ago. And what a real treat it must have been to have something like this at that time. Now I know a bunch of people are going to be telling me that I shouldn't use something so old on my skin. But in the spirit of exploration and curiosity, which is what I'm all about, I'm willing to give it a try. After all, vintage beauty secrets have been cherished for generations, and you never know what hidden wonders that this tin of violet oatmeal might hold. So the instructions on the side are really generalised. There's no quantities about how to mix this. It just says mix to a thick cream with hot water, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take a teaspoon of this, and then we're just going to add a splash of water into it. This is hot water. So the colour of this is definitely more like a cornmeal colour. Now I'm assuming that when it was first manufactured and obviously open, it would have been a pure brilliant white colour. It probably smelled a lot stronger than this as well. So I'm just going to use the back of the spoon to apply this to half of my face now that this is all mixed. It really is a silky smooth and velvety paste. And I'm only going to apply this to half of my face because I'm actually going to recreate this as well for a modern day version that you yourself can do at home. Wish me luck that my face doesn't dissolve underneath this. I really can't describe this smell. It really is like a talcum powdery smell. There's definitely a really strong fragrance of violets, like Parma violets, that I can smell. Now I don't want to get this in my mouth because, you know, it's probably way past its best before date. So let's just focus on keeping this on the skin. I feel like that's enough. Now oats are rich in lipids and vitamin E, which help lock in moisture and keep the skin really hydrated and supple. They also contain beta-glucans that have anti-inflammatory effects, helping to soothe and calm irritated or inflamed skin. And lastly, oats offer exfoliating properties and help strengthen the skin's natural barrier, protecting it from external irritants, pollutants and stuff like that. Now the second ingredient in this mixture is violets. And violets contain antioxidants such as anthocyanins. Anthocyanins can help protect the skin from free radicals and environmental stresses that can lead to premature aging, but they too also help reduce redness and inflammation. While the delicate fragrance is supposed to be calming. The fragrance, it just takes me back to a time of being hugged by my gran. Yeah, it's definitely taking me to a happy place right now. Alright, while this sits, let's recreate this vintage beauty treasure using fresh ingredients. So for this, we're going to need some oats, we're going to need sea salt, and we're going to need some violet oil. Now you could add honey into this mixture as well, but as I don't have any honey to hand right now, we're just going to keep this really simple. So I have my oats here. These are good old-fashioned Scottish oats. I'm just going to take 2 tablespoons of these oats here and drop these into the food processor. Next, I'm going to take around about half a teaspoon of sea salt flakes. Now, sea salt flakes are super nourishing. It's why when you've been swimming in the sea that your skin always feels so soft and supple when you come out. So I've dropped them in there with the oats. Now, this is an all-in-one cup recipe. Now, this is a pure extract, and we're going to want about 5 or 6 drops of it, which is the equivalent of around about 1 teaspoon. Just going to give that a quick shake before we mix it, just to make sure that the violet oil is kind of absorbed by the oats before we blend. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this into the processor and blitz it up until it's a fine powder. Okay, so this is all blended up and blitzed, and it's actually looking pretty much identical. The colour is definitely very, very similar. It's an off-white. It's not quite as golden. So let's add some water into this and mix it up and see what we get. Yeah, texture-wise, looking at this, we've got something that is almost identical. The only difference is that this one is more of a brownish colour rather than an orangey yellow colour. So again, using the back of the spoon, I'm just going to smear this on. Going to get it in here with my hands. It actually does feel really soothing on the skin so far. And voila, your DIY violet oatmeal mask, a beautiful and nourishing tribute to the vintage beauty secrets of the once iconic Rimmel violet oatmeal, is now ready to use, which I've already done. So now that I've applied this onto my skin, I'm just going to leave this to sit for 10 minutes and I'm going to wash it all off with cold water, and then hopefully the Rimmel side of my face doesn't fall off when I do that. Okay, so the Rimmel side was surprisingly easy to wash off. I think it's because I made it as a slightly thinner mixture. But really, both sides of my skin are feeling really soft right now. It's definitely got a little bit more bounce and vitality to it. Not to mention that I've got this little bit of a glow going on. You know, bringing this old tin of beauty treatment into use today. Now, these come from age-old remedies which have been used for thousands of years. Obviously, they started gaining popularity and momentum towards the end of the 19th century, beginning of the 20th century. And they've managed to become hero ingredients of many of today's biggest skincare sellers. Now I'm going to seal this once again and I'm going to put it away somewhere dark and dry. And who knows, maybe in 80 years time somebody else will be using this in a video, carrying it forward into another era. If you recreate this DIY mask, be sure to share your experience with me and others in the comment section down below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and if you found it enjoyable, subscribe to my channel for more exciting beauty adventures. And remember, skincare doesn't have to be complicated. Sometimes the simplest and freshest ingredients can work wonders for your skin. Thank you so much for joining me for this video today. I hope you have a fantastic day ahead of you, and I really look forward to seeing you in my next video. So till then, TJ over and out.